So far we have completed the theoretical foundation of Angular 18, and now starting with this video we will shift our focus to practical applications and exploring the new features through hands-on examples. So in this video we will see about built-in control flows. Built-in control flows brings a new declarative syntax of writing control flows straight into the template. So before Angular 17, we were using structural directive like ngIf, ngFor, ngSwitch to show, hide and repeat elements. So in this video, we will see the replacement of *ngIf directive. So for that, I am going to use the same project which we have created in previous video. So inside that, I'll comment this line and I'll add one more h1 tag. Inside that, I'll add built-in control flows. So now we will see one example of if-else condition. For that, I want to add two input box here, and on top of that input box, we will write the if-else condition. So for that, I'll add one label is for number 1, and for this number 1, I'll add one input box of type number, and same for number 2. Okay, and I'll create two variable. One is num1 of type number and another is number 2 of type number. And here I'll map this variable with ng model. First to num1, and here also I'll paste this for num2. Okay, so save the changes and go to the browser. Here can't bind to ng model. Okay, so in order to use ng model, we need to import forms model in imports array. Save the changes and go to the browser. Here you can see num1 and num2. I'll add one br tag here to here. Now you can see number 1 and number 2. Now I want to compare these two numbers and display the corresponding output in the form of text. Okay, so for that, first we'll see the syntax of *ngIf, then we will compare the same syntax with @if and @else block. Okay, to add ngIf directive, I need to take one div, and here we can add *ngIf equals to, my condition is num1 is greater than num2. Then I want to display the text num1 inside interpolation is greater than num2. And if I want the else condition, then I need to write else and else statement, and we need to define this else statement inside ng template with hash. Okay, so inside ng template, I'll add num1 is lesser than num2. Okay, now save the changes and go to the browser. Here I'll add the number 5 and here I'll add number 3, not displaying. Okay, we will see if there is any error. Yeah, ngIf directive. Okay, in order to use ngIf directive, we need to add common module inside imports array, and make sure this common module imports from Angular/common and this forms module imports from Angular/forms. Save the changes and go to the browser. Here now we can add 6 and the number 2 as a 8. 6 is lesser than 8, and if I change the number to 4, 6 is greater than 4. So we are getting expected output with *ngIf directive. Now we will see the same example with new built-in control flow syntax. For first condition, I'll take one if, and inside that I'll add the same condition, num1 is greater than num2, and I'll display this message, num1 is greater than num2. Okay, and for this else statement, I'll take one else block, and inside this else block, I'll write this else statement. Okay, save the changes and go to the browser. Here now I'll add 5 as a number 1 and 10 as a number 2. Then we are getting expected output 5 is lesser than 10. And instead of 5, if I type 15, you can see 15 is greater than 10. So we are getting the same output with if-else block. But now you can see the difference between these two syntax. So with ngIf directive, we need to take one div, and to display the else block, we need to write the else condition inside ng template. And here we don't need to take any div or ng template. This syntax is same like normal if-else condition we used to write inside TS file. This if-else block syntax is more clear, more understandable than the *ng if directive. So the advantages of @if directives is, first is conditional rendering. It means with @if directive, developers can easily conditionally render part of the UI based on certain conditions. This @if directive simplifies the logic required for showing or hiding elements dynamically and enhancing code clarity and maintainability. And the second advantage is improved performance. So this @if elements wrapped within an @if directive are only rendered when the associated expression evaluates to true. This can lead to better performance as unnecessary DOM elements are not created when they are not needed. So one more thing here, if you want to add more conditions, then you can add inside else if block. Like inside this, I want to add num2 is greater than num1 and I want to display this message num1 is lesser than num2, and inside else block I want to display number1 is equal to num2. Save the changes and go to the browser. Here I'll add 10 and here I'll add 20. Then 10 is lesser than 20, and if I change here to 8, then 10 is greater than 8. And if I change this to 8, number 1 to 8, then 8 is equal to 8. It means we can add as many else if block as we want. And here we need to remember @if block can have one or more else block and any number of else if block and only one else block. And all of these else block can come after the initial @if block. So the final definition of @if directive is, @if directive allows you to conditionally show or hide page elements depending on a logical condition, and the if directive conditionally includes or excludes the element based on the evaluation of an expression. And last, if the expression evaluates true, then only template is rendered, otherwise it will removed from the DOM. So this is how Angular 18 is replacing the *ng if directive with @if block or @if directive. So that's it for this video, and in next video we will see how to use @for directive. So thanks for watching this video, and if you like this video then please help me to increase my subscribers. Thank you. Bye bye.